Episode 6 of Netflix's Ozark Season 3 finds Marty and Wendy at Sue the therapist's house discussing hiring Maya. Sue is on Marty's side, for the time being, and when the couple begin to argue, Marty, Jason Bateman, asks her to help him out. Wendy, Laura Linney, would like Sue's input as well since she also bribed therapist. After both demand Sue jump in, she becomes exasperated and says, "What does it say about a marriage when a husband and wife both try to bribe the therapist?" Sue adds, "You're both paying me off." "There, I said it." Marty and Wendy start to really let each other have it, and Wendy's ego raises its ugly head. She reveals she thinks Marty's jealous of her. Marty calls her arrogant. Marty brings up the fact she had Cade killed, and when she insists she did it for their family, Marty replies, "You'll say anything to justify what you did. I don't know how you live with yourself." Wendy's response is to call him an ungrateful prick. After Wendy accuses him, again, of being jealous, she tosses in that he's narrow-minded for good measure. Marty's had enough and lets her have it. "Right, yeah, and you're just a effing scary, selfish, power-hungry effing B*TCH. After Wendy storms out, Marty turns to a very shocked Sue. Realizing they just let everything about drug lords and murders out of the bag. Marty finds Wendy walking down the road and tries to convince her to get in. She says home is a 43-minute walk from there and she wants him gone by the time she gets there. Marty drives off, leaving her behind. Sam, Kevin L. Johnson, gets chips at the casino and Ruth, Julia Garner, attempts to give him a pep talk because he's nervous. After Ruth walks away, Frank Jr., Joseph Sikora, shows her a bill from the auto body shop for the repairs to his paint job after Pigeons made a mess of it thanks to Ben. After Ruth gets smart with him, he threatens her. Following that tense exchange, they discuss a new drop-off spot. They argue again when Frank Jr. says no to the new spot because he already told his guys where to go. Ruth tells him that's too bad because the last time she met up with his guys they messed with her. With that, Ruth leaves a very pissed off Frank Jr. behind. Wendy shows up at the office and asks Helen, Janet McTeer, if she's heard from Navarro. Helen replies, "If you're wondering if he is still angry with you, then yes." Wendy then feels the need to inform Helen that she and Marty are taking some time apart. Naturally, Helen wants to know why, and Wendy admits they had a big fight. Helen says, "You're not splitting up, I hope." Their conversations cut short when Darlene, Lisa Emery, shows up demanding to talk to Helen alone. She informs Helen she replanted her crops and they're back in business, the drug business, of course. Helen thinks she's out of her mind. She can't plant poppies that close to a casino. Darlene claims she can because it's her land. And they will be up and running in 4 months. Helen reminds her she killed 57 people when she spiked the dope and their deal was over the minute she crossed the cartel. Before leaving the office, Darlene threatens Helen. Helen seems to relish the idea of a fight and suggests she bring it on. Marty drives around talking to himself. He eventually parks and leaves the car. An SUV is following him. Marty tells Special Agent Maya Miller, Jessica Francis Dukes, he and Wendy got in a fight and he might be staying at the same hotel where she's staying. Maya hands him a paper and it's his confession. All he has to do is sign it. He hands it back and says he needs to check with Wendy first. He confesses he doesn't trust her and Maya understands why since he hasn't had good agents on his case. He wonders if there are any Evans is out for blood and Petty was a sociopath who got Rachel hooked on drugs. She insists she's not like them. He insists he can't work with her until she proves she's trustworthy. Darlene meets with Sheriff Nix, Robert C. Treviler, and asks how many people he has working for him. She wants his officers to help her sell her drugs. He refuses, but like always she throws whatever they did for him in the past in his face, so he reluctantly agrees to help. She adds that whatever agreement he has with the Burt family is over. There will be no more protecting the brides. Charlotte, Sophia Hublitz, Jonah, Skyla Gertner, and Aaron, Madison Thompson, show up at the lake and find Tommy and his friends already there. Charlotte gets out of the van to talk to Tommy about staying away from Aaron. He reveals Aaron called him, and Aaron gets mad at Charlotte for acting like her mom. Tommy suggests they play a drinking game and brings out a gun. Charlotte grabs Jonah, insisting they should leave. Tommy takes the opportunity to talk crap to Jonah, who's only 14, and asks if he knows how to shoot a gun. Unbeknownst to him, Jonah does in fact know how to shoot a gun very well. Targets are set up and Jonah shoots 3 bottles. After Tommy takes the gun from him, he points it at Jonah. Soon after, the cops show up and they're all arrested. Marty and Wendy wait at the sheriff's station for the kids. And Wendy asks Marty where he's staying. He informs her the same hotel as Maya Miller, and Wendy scoffs at that choice. While Wendy's lecturing the kids, Helen asks if she can have a word in private. Helen attempts to blame Charlotte and Jonah for what happened, but Wendy's not having it. She explains Charlotte tried to keep Aaron away from that boy, but she couldn't exactly tell her why. Helen says Aaron has never been in trouble before. Wendy, smugly, lets her know the first thing Aaron said to Charlotte was that she wanted to lose her virginity and asked if Charlotte would help her. Helen doesn't want to hear it and suggests they may have dipped their toes in the friendship pool, but she's not sure they are going to swim. Wendy agrees and says,